So one of my favorite things that I had started using were these pens. They're gel roller erasable retractable pens, right? And I loved them because when you iron over them, the marks vanish. So it was very cool, and I had used them on silk, and they worked. You could erase them when you ironed the marks, and it was great. And then I was talking about this in one of the classes I was in, and they said, oh well, we've heard that if it gets really cold, like during a cross-country flight, the marks will come back, which of course is horrifying because you put all this blood, sweat, and tears into making this wonderful outfit or gorgeous quilt or whatever it is you're making, and then you fly it to where it's going and it gets there and it's covered with all these horrible ink stains that you thought had been erased. So we're going to test it. There we go. So I have this lovely piece of Raven's medallion in white and this purple pen that I'm going to draw on. It's scrap fabric, folks, don't worry about it. And then we're going to iron over it. And as you can see, the mark is gone, right? Iron over it, no more mark. It's gone from both sides, all right? So, I don't know how long the longest flight is. I think it's somewhere on par with 26 hours. I am going to put this in a plastic bag, pop it in my freezer for 24 hours at least. We'll take it out tomorrow and see if the mark came back. And then we'll know if these pens are really good to use on fabric or not. Okay, we now have been waiting 24 full hours and we're going to see if the ink came back on our silk. Oh, and I am sad to say it did. It's nowhere near as dark as it was, but you can definitely still see the mark, and that's even just through the plastic bag. So, if you want to use the pens, and I'm not saying don't, but I am saying I would recommend making sure that they are only within seam allowances, where they will never be seen. Or just revert to Taylor's chalk or Taylor's tacks, which are time-honored traditions. They always work, and they don't leave marks. All right, so after I did the freeze test on the Frixion pens, and of course the mark came back, which you can see right there. It's considerably lighter, but it is still there. I went, oh, okay, so the mark comes back, end of that. And then my boyfriend goes, no. Now you gotta figure out how to remove the mark. And I went, oh, well yeah, duh. I should figure out how to remove the rest of the mark from the cloth. And I think I'm actually gonna start with Dawn and see if Dawn will take that out, because it's much lighter, so it's much harder to see, although it is still there. And I know Dawn isn't gonna hurt the silk any. And since it's mostly just a wax pen, we're just gonna see if we can buff it out with Dawn, basically. Let's see here. Rinse it with cold water, since we know heat will make it disappear, and I don't want to get this like false sense of excitement that I've achieved something only to find out it comes back. Let's see. Hopeful. Not bad, actually, at all.
You'll just have to freeze it again to verify.
Yeah, I'm going to do exactly that once it's dry. I don't want to know about what fabric in the freezer, but...
You don't want ice silk?
I don't want ice silk, but...
That's going to be the new rage and the new thing there, ice silk.
Ice silk, okay. Alright, so... It looks... Get the camera in there. It looks like it worked. I'm not immediately seeing the mark. But I am going to dry it completely and then freeze it for another 24 hours to make sure the mark is really truly gone. And then I'll post a video and let you guys know what the end results are. Okay, so our fabric has been washed, dried, frozen again, and we're gonna see if the mark is fully gone. And I sure don't see any marks. Let's check both sides, because it definitely got lighter after the first one.
Focusing on it here.
Yeah, so there you go. Once you iron it out to get the bulk of it out, and then if you freeze it, or if it gets too cold, like if you're air traveling and you find the marks came back, they will wash out with Dawn. And just a simple little hand wash with a little bit of Dawn directly on the spot will remove the rest of the marks from the Frixion pens. So there you go. You can use them. Just be cautious and keep track of where you used them so you can wash that area with Dawn to remove the rest of the marks.